I'm Nicola Guglielmi. My work is last year like a team manager. I manage a team of uh, people that are very deep on cloud provider on the three major cloud provider, and we do consultancy services. I am this is what I do for pay the bill, but I am technology super curious about technology. I love to have hands-on code, and I am very deeply connected with Google technology. I am a Google developer expert and Google Cloud trainer. I am not a Google employee, just to be sure about that. In this talk, I use some of Google's technology, but you can replicate it with almost any other provider of LLM and AI technology. If you missed it, I am not a Google employee. This view are my own. I just played with LLMs for a while. Since the first version of ChatGPT, Gemini, and I saw in the last years a lot of improvement on this technology, but I see also that for a lot of tasks, the way they produce output are not at the expected quality level for be ready for a production. This talk was born from an idea from me and another developer friend, Alfonso Graziano, that was not able to join here for work commitments. And is grounded on the idea to use different LLMs together. We have a LLM promise that now seems that are ready to change a lot of industries, but when we use it, we see that sometimes the answers are not in target with our needs, or output miss some details that we may need to get the quality level that we expect for that specific job. LLMs sometimes are not defined in the request, so the output is not consistent and is not at the quality level that we expect, especially in the zero shot. Why this is happening? Because sometimes a single LM is not cannot effectively critique its own output behind certain point. This is a limit of LLM itself. There is another problem, is a problem of ambiguity interpretation. Maybe the prompt is misunderstood from the LLM itself, so the output is not what we expect. And one of the things that is something that I explored with my friends and my coworkers is the creativity versus accuracy threshold. We can use temperature to set this threshold, but we can use that just in one way with a single LLM. The core idea of this talk is about using an approach like the generative adversarial network in a multi-turn dialogue design, in which two LLMs engage in a conversational exchange, acting as a generator of content and a discriminator to interactively refine the responses and better understand what the user needs to as an output. Try to get a better focus on the user needs. This can be archived also in automated way or with human intervention inside the loop. This second option is very useful in the case you wish to improve control and have a better focus on the results. What is a GAN? GAN is a technology that has been was a hot trend for 4 or 5 years ago. From my point of view, was very interesting because it used 2 different deep neural network. One trained to recognize some specific kind of images, and another one that just starting from random noise, generate this image in a consistent way. I get in touch with this because I have a friend of mine that is a stylist for a fashion brand, and some years ago I saw a show generative adversarial network and also a bag generative adversarial network that started to design really nice shoes, really nice bags, in a way that is completely based on AI without human intervention. So in this design, what we use is like a GAN-Inspired approach. 2 different LLM, one as a generator that create initial response, and a discriminator that make an improve on the content that is generated, and also can validate it in a dialogue. If you want a more finer grained control, you can have a human checkpoint inside the loop, and you can use this just to provide feedbacks or confirm the correctness of the answer. This is a schematic of the pipeline. We start with an user prompt. We use an LLM generator that create our output, and we have another LLM that works as a discriminator that make a validation on this, and after we can also loop through another step inside our LLM generator, and after we can have a human checkpoint. What are the key benefits of this approach? The validator can push the accuracy and can be more aligned with the user intent. We can compress the ambiguity with interactive questioning and refinement. And generator can be used to explore higher temperature level that produce more creative, more in some way also more human output, content generated, and the validator ensure that the creativity remains grounded on what we need to have as an output. Sorry, I forgot. As a test, I have also a live demo. I don't know if we can do it. We try. We start with a simple user prompt. Draft just a marketing email for a new eco-friendly water bottle. We can try this sample in several ways with like the web UI of LLM, or we can write code and we can push it through the API of the LLM. The nice thing is that with this approach we can use multiple LLM from different provider, different vendor, inside the same pipeline. And this is one of the most interesting things, because we can ground this dialogue not only on like ChatGPT itself, but we can use ChatGPT as a generator, Gemini as a validator. We can try to spot which is the best for our specific needs, and which perform better on our specific needs. We can try to play with temperature to get the right balance between creativity and to avoid hallucination. Okay, if we try this prompt with Gemini 2.5, we get one of the answer that we can get is this one. So we just ask for marketing email, and we have our output. We can take this output and put on Claude to have a refinement on this output, and we can align this to our needs. And after, we can also rate the answer. We can ask another LLM to rate this answer. This is very useful because when we start rating the output of an answer from an LLM with a numeric value, we can use this to take automatic decision on the quality of the output. This type of dialogue can be done also in different way. We can set a number of terms in our discussion, or we can have like a threshold limit, and the LLM continues to improve the output until the that threshold is reached. Just a quick overview on temperature. What is temperature? Temperature lets you to direct the kind of output that is generated. With a low temperature, we have more predictable, but often very common patterns for our output, good for something like summarization or for very precise and puntual tasks. Mid is something that lets you to have a good balance between creativity and you can have it on topic, and is general purpose usage. High is less coherent, more creative, good for brainstorming, to try to exploit new idea from common prompt. And with this kind of approach, what we do is just using high level of temperature for generation and lower level temperature for the discrimination. In this way, we are sure that we ground on our needs without losing the possibility to have new idea, new content in our output. The temperature scale is from 0 to 1 from most of the LLM. In Gemini is from 0 to 2, but is the same, just the scale is different. We just a quick recap of the difference between the two approach. In some benchmark I can show you, we have with the manual human review. We saw in several companies in which I work for content generation, we saw very nice improvement, and also with another approach that is multi-LLM, we have very great benefits in the quality of the output that we get. We can have human in the loop. In this case, we orchestrate the two or multiple LLM using humans that act as a judge on the quality of output. This is very good for tasks that need some kind of criteria that are just human-based. Very good to define the path of the LLM dialogue to keep it on track, and setting direction of our goal. We can have different kind of intervention inside this loop with just a confirmation, with correction, clarification, and writing the output of validator over the time. So what we do is just starting with generator and validator with two different temperature. In the next step, just add the human loop if we need to have a better control. But we can improve also this design using agents. With agents, we can create scoped LLM for a specific task, and this let us to define a more complex system to generate content and review that content based on different scope for different reviewer. Like if you write an agreement for your company for a job that you have to do, this agreement usually go through the sales department, the lawyer department, the CEO for approval. Each one of these work on a specific matter inside that agreement, and you can do that in automatic way. There is a very nice library from Google that has been released a few months ago that is ADK, Agent Development Toolkit, that let you to build this network of agents that can break down complex tasks in something that can be managed. You can interact also with the external API to integrate more data while you are producing your content, and you can arrange these agents to work together to reach your goal. In this design, we have just different agent for different step of our process of generation and validation. But this is just an incipit of inception of idea, because we are exploring the design space with symmetric and asymmetric rules. So we can have LLMs that can generate in different way or in a collaborative way content, like a team that make a debate, and you can increase the number of LLMs in a way that you can have benefits from specific grounded agent that make like quality control or fairness control of your content generated, and let you to have very high level of content that you generated. So single LLM are very powerful. Usually you can use it for a lot of tasks, but if you need higher level of content for your use, for a specific usage that you need, you can make these LLM talk together to generate and validate the output. This is useful to balance creativity and to incorporate in some way the human intervention inside the generating process. Okay. I left just some link if you wish to go deep on this. There are also some code. I'll publish it ASAP because I need a review on it, and I miss my co-speaker. Okay. If you have any question, I am here to answer. Woo.
But we have time for
Okay, try.
just some of them. So
If we cannot answer any question, you can just drop me a message on LinkedIn, and I'll answer anyone.
Okay, so the first question is, do you think this approach can only be used for batch use cases, or you think there's a reasonable way to have overall system response latency under control for online use cases like chatbots?
No, absolutely, yes. You can use, for instance, an agentic design. You can use several agents. In that case, I may suggest smaller models for low latency answer, but you can use also for that.
Okay, so the second one is LLM as judges have a known positive bias, especially in point-wise evaluation. Do you do something to mitigate that? The LLM as judges has a known positive bias.
Yeah.
Do you do? Okay.
Yeah, you can, as I showed before, you can instruct a specific LLM to ground their intervention on a specific area of the generated text. For instance, you generate content. You want that content is fair. Okay, you can instruct an LLM as an agent just for a fairness check on a specific boundary that you can have. After that, you need to be sure that the content itself is legal. Okay, so you can have another agent that can do just that kind of check, like a company. If, as I said before, as an example, if you write an agreement, you need different people that work on it. You have a technical team that build the proposal. You have a sales team that build the commercial part. You have the legal office that build the legal part, etc. In the same way, you can build a network of agents that can refine the content you build. But the nice thing of this process is that you can have this agent with a lower temperature, so you can be quite sure that that agent act in a predictable way. But you can have the generator with the higher temperature, so you can generate more creative content, more like human content. Okay, this is the nice thing is that you can mix these two level of temperature, and other things is that you can use multiple LM, not just from one provider, from one vendor. You can mix together, and mixing them together, you can get the best from each one in each single specific area of expertise.
Okay, thanks. Sorry, I just have to move here. Okay, so I will join two questions because are similar. Okay. So, in your opinion, is this approach better than proper prompt engineering? Also considering that the cost of this pipeline is probably higher than just using one LLM with a good prompt. And the second one is, does this answer refinement technique worth the cost of each LLM API call?
Okay, it depends on the use that you have for the output of this pipeline. I work with a company that makes something like content generation, so the output has an higher cost, higher price, respect a single interaction, for instance, for a bot, for a chatbot. So it makes sense in this specific use case. But for instance, if you write something, any corporate document, makes sense to have a very scoped network of very scoped agent on specific area of that document to improve the quality. Yeah, but you have to pay for several call. But also keep in mind that each single cloud, each single provider of LLMs now has a lot of give a lot of tokens for free. For instance, there is I don't know if you someone use Grok, not Grok from X. There is another Grok that is a quantized model as the open source model, and you can use for a lot of tokens each month.
Okay, so supposing the validator needs access to the same specialized prompt used by the generator, what about the efficiency cost trade-off of using an LLM validator? So no, this is quite the same.
It should not have access to the prompt that uses the generator. You have to have a division just to have the model, and this is also the reasons I don't suggest to use the same model for generator and for validator, because you are trying also to explore different settings for temperature that give you creativity, give you more human-like text. I also experimented with images, and this is working for some kind of problems. But no, I don't suggest to give access to the initial prompt to the validator.
Okay, so how will you compare it to temperature control?
Just temperature control?
Yeah,
you don't have the control on the, you cannot get the same overall quality level that you can have with higher temperature during generation and lower temperature during check. You get lower quality. We did a lot of benchmark on this with the human rating, and the human, the people that make the evaluation rated higher the content generated by this pipeline.
Okay, so the last one that actually are two related. Was GAN still used in agentic solution? And is there a demo that shows a workflow involving GANs and agents or any papers? Could you provide some references if available?
For this kind of approach, yes, I can provide. Yes, there are. I saw a paper on Medium, I suppose, about design like this one, but I'm not sure. If you drop me a message on LinkedIn, I'll follow up.
Okay, so thank you, Nicola.
Thank you, everyone.